Hello everybody, it is Jack from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you guys are looking for PTC geocodes, including the latest set Vivid Voltage, make sure you check out the Potown store, where you can use code Omnipoke for an extra discount on your order. Today, I'm here with week number 8 of the Omnipoke League. Again, I just wanted to do a quick intro. I'll add the games on at the end of this quick chat, but I just wanted to throw out the list that I was using. In the final week of what is going to be the Champions Path format, next week we will be going into Vivid Voltage, so that's pretty exciting. So yeah, in the final week of Champions Path, or Dance to Blaze, I guess, I went with the same 3 decks. I went with Center Scorch, Eternatus, and ADP. Made a couple of changes to each though. I was against Team Fish Knuckles, Josh from Team Fish Knuckles, and I'd seen that he'd been playing a lot of things like Obstagoon, Decidueye, that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make sure had my techs ready for those kind of matchups. Though as you'll see in the games, it turns out he brought something a little bit different this week. But yeah, essentially this Senti list is super close to the one that I played last week. I basically found space for a Fire Crystal. I dropped a boss for a Fire Crystal because I think double Eldegoss means you only need one boss, in all honesty. Though, that being said, it could be still, I could find another cut instead of the boss. I actually think I would like to work in a 4th Giant Hearth. It's still a little bit greedy that I'm only playing 3. Maybe cutting a Volcanion or, a big Charm and Air Balloon, something like that. But in general, the list is super similar. I really wanted a Fire Crystal last week, so managed to squeeze one in this week, which was useful. The Eternatus list didn't change too much when it decides to load. I didn't get to play it last week too much, and as such, I didn't want to make too many changes. Again, the list isn't crazy against things like Obstagoon and Decidueye. It does have outs though, as it finally loads. It does have outs in the Baby Hoopers, along with a couple of Zigzagoons, pings to try and get over the line, but it's not the greatest list. In all honesty, this was like my super backup pick if it turned out Josh wasn't playing anything sort of imperative that I needed to have kind of an answer to. This doesn't perform great against some of those decks, especially with the current build that I'm running. But regardless, it was kind of just like a backup pick. And then the Players' Cup ADP list, I did slightly amend. I dropped an E-Switch for a Duraludon. Obviously, Duraludon is great in the Decidueye matchup. Not so good in the Obstagoon matchup, but again, we have more while to hopefully bring something down. Could have potentially dropped the Oranguru in my Players' Cup list. Basically, I played Oranguru over Duraludon. This time I'm playing both. I did drop an Energy Switch to essentially hurt the chances of getting Turn 1 GX. It's not overly relevant, but it does obviously lower those chances. But I feel like you have a little bit of time against those kind of decks, especially if you get the GX attack off at some point in the game. You only have to take 3 knockouts, so I didn't feel it was massively necessary to get the Energy Switch combo off turn 1 to ensure a win in those matchups. I think having Duraludon is way more important. So yeah, those are the 3 decks I brought. I will add the games on after this little chat we've had. My PCG seems to really be buggy today, but yeah, I'll add those games on. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from Omnipoke, and I look forward to seeing you guys in week number 9, where we'll have our first Vivid Voltage games, which is really exciting. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, so we're here with week number 8 of the Omni League. Looks like we're against Water Mewtwo kicking things off. Playing Senti, as you can see, it's going to be a pretty bad matchup if he has access to using water Pokemon as attackers. Though no Mewtwo's this turn is really good. Did hit Switch, so we could just straight up Communication for Volcanion and attach 3 energy. But I think I'd rather Comfort Dene and see what we can see. So we have 1 Dedenne prized. Senti. Have both of those. We have our Crystal. We have a Switch. Got all of our Welders, which is good. We have 3 energy as well. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the Dedenne. I will attach And I'm going to attach the big charm as well, just because it's better than discarding it. We could find Air Balloon and save the energy, but because we're attaching an energy to retreat anyway, we'd still have to find another energy to Volcanion. So I think if I attach the big... If I either attach both or neither there, if that makes sense. And then we're going to Dedenne and hope we can find Volcanion Welder. Okay. So his hand is pretty good if we can find a welder. So we can Hearth. Let's Crystal. And then we will Hearth away one of the energy. As you can see, I put Crystal in this. After last week, I felt like I really needed it. Or it would have been good to have. Maybe really needed is a strong term, but I felt like it would have been good to have. I'm just going to attach the 1. Do we attach a second? I think I'm just going to attach the 1. There is a possibility of this getting knocked out this turn, next turn. We did hit Air Balloon as well. We don't have Pokemon, but we have Boss and Com, so we could arguably get access to the VMAX next turn. We're always two-shotting through a Mewtwo unless we hit Welder. If we go 1, 2, 3, we're doing 160. Attachment for turn is 200. With Welder, we're doing 270. So we can knock it out if we hit Welder and attach all 3 here. We would lose pretty hard to Boss, but I'm pretty sure there's not many Boss plays he can make this turn, given his turn 1. His turn 1 didn't represent any Mewtwo's or anything. That's pretty laggy. His turn 1 didn't represent any Mewtwo's or anything, so I think we're fairly safe to attach 3 here. Hope that we can find a VMAX or another Pokemon. If we can't find a VMAX or another Pokemon, it is going to strand our Senti a little bit, which is scary. But I guess worst case scenario, we can start attaching to the Cram instead. Pressuring these Dedennes for later on in the game. Quick Ball top deck means that he is going to have probably access to a Mewtwo. Maybe a Dedenne here though, if his hand is truly dead. So he was going first, so okay, it's just a Dedenne. What's been there? There goes the Blastoise and one of the Moth. There's a Cherish Ball for a Mewtwo. Quick Balling Boss. Okay, so he's got his Snom online as well. Being able to pressure that Snom is really good. We can High Heat Blast knock out the Snom if he doesn't get another one out, and I think that's actually the play I'm going to make if there's no sign of anything else happening this turn, just because that should really slow down the energy acceleration. I don't remember how Starstream is worded. Okay, so Starstream can attach to itself. Bring up the Dedenne, just passing it over. Okay. So we can Eldegoss for Welder. Or we can just target the Snom. I'm pretty sure targeting the Snom is a stronger play on the whole. Because it should limit what he can do next turn. Following on from this, he might have to Starstream to himself, and if he has to Starstream to himself, we can basically find a VMAX and hopefully knock out the Mewtwo with a VMAX. Heatran is another potential play this turn. Just Calm for Heatran and blow it up. Yeah, there's the Starstream. 2 to himself. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to... I could blow this up with Heatran. I do have enough to blow it up with the VMAX though, right? So if we have 6 energy, we're doing 140, 180. We're very all in on a VMAX, but I think it's worth it. Double Eldegoss feels so broken in this deck. Okay, I think we're in a very strong spot here. I don't think there's any one attack that can knock out a Center Scorch, and I can't think of anything that can ditch a load of energy. We've just taken all 3 energy from our prizes, though. So we have a Senti and a Switch left in there, I think. Okay, he does drop the Concede. Okay, let me message. What was I going to say? Okay, so he said he wants to go first. We can't play Senti, so we can play ADP or Eternatus. This is Eternatus Turbo Patch. I haven't tested the list super thoroughly, so I actually think I'm going to play ADP just for safety. We've netted ourselves a point, so that's one of the biggest things for me. We're going second, so we could potentially get the turn 1 GX off with this ADP list as well. There's a Mull. Not the greatest hand, but not the worst either. We have a Zacian, we have a Mawile. We actually have E-Switch Saucer, so if we have, like, I don't know, if we can find some way of ditching all of this, we could really easily get a turn 1 GX, potentially. If he plays Mewtwo again, we actually have no way of dealing 270, so... okay, Fire Energy... Okay, this is Welder Mewtwo. That's significantly harder for this deck. I don't like the Welder Mewtwo matchup too much, personally. There's a Switch. Okay, so we really are going to be looking for the turn 1 GX here. Didn't represent Dedenne or anything. Quick Balled for an energy. Maybe shows that he's got... I don't know what that represents in the hand. I guess we can Mawile and find out. So I guess our first action is Mawile. Let's see whether we need to Marnie or not. Has the Welder 2 energy and the Reshi. We can put the Reshi down to disrupt the bench. It's actually not a bad attacker in this matchup for him. But I still think I'm going to put it down just to take up a bench spot. Okay, so it does have the Welder 2 energy. I think for that reason I'm going to Marnie here. Marnie is a massive risk, though. Maybe we should just Cherish Ball Dedenne. What do we have? Cherish Ball prized. I've dropped a 3 switch for today's list. I don't know whether I like it or not. It makes going second a lot harder. Well, not a lot harder, but... There's only 1 Water Energy. Okay, it's going to be really hard for us to get off a turn 1 GX this turn. Because it's that hard for us to get off a turn 1 GX, arguably it could be worth just mining and not committing to it, but I think we have to get an energy this turn. And there's no guarantee with a 5-card Marnie, so I think we just have to be pretty sad we're discarding all of these resources, but we actually have to do it. I am going to bring up the Reshi just to try and strand him a little bit. Obviously, could Welder out of this, but... We did hit an energy. We did hit Big Charm as well. Big Charm is very important for protecting the ADP. I think I want to grab the Water Energy this turn. Just try and Intrepid Sword some metals. If he's playing anything like hammers, we're at a real loss. We're going to be in a very bad spot. But I don't think I'm gonna play around hammers. I'm also gonna get Oranguru out so that we can hopefully stack an energy to the top for Intrepid Sword, and then I'm just gonna research. So we have one spot to do stuff with next turn. Okay. Oh, we're so close. We were so close to the turn 1 GX. We actually can still hit it if we hit a discarding card here. Quick Ball. No, just an energy. Okay. We were so close to the turn 1 GX. Holy. That's a shame. Although we're getting at least one energy on here, which is good. And then we can hopefully attach Ultimate Ray and pray that we don't get hit next turn. Arguably, he can just like outrage us for the first little poke of damage and then knock us out with the Mewtwo attack. Okay, he's just World Ring to the back, which means he probably top deck some kind of switching out. Or maybe he's just committing to the switching out, thinking the outrage damage isn't worth it, which is potentially fair enough. If he plays any damage modifiers, he can still knock us out with the Charizard. And that would be really bad. I don't see how we win a game if he knocks out this Charizard this ADP this turn. We have to basically knock this... we have to basically get this ADP GX attack off no matter what. I think we can still win if the ADP goes down, but I don't think we can win if the ADP goes down without using Ultra Creation. So we can discard an energy and Saucer, attach. We can then stack the other Saucer to the top with Guru and save one Saucer, so we have 2 Saucers left to power up a second Zacian. So it'll be hard. It'll be very difficult, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. There's an Aganadel. Maybe going for the snipe attack on the Mawile, perhaps. Could you be going for 3 KOs like this? 3 2-prize KOs. Oh wow, it's just a pass. Okay, that's very, very good for us. We actually top deck boss as well, which is huge. So we can attach here. Actually want to discard this and still get the Saucer value here. So yeah, our other Saucer is in here. So there's a boss, 3 bosses, okay. So we are going to get the Saucer value here. We can protect a boss or a Saucer this turn. In case of Marnie, I'd be surprised if he played Marnie, but in case of Marnie, I am going to protect the boss because boss theoretically is hard to find in energy. We could have also protected the Saucer and still researched this turn. Maybe that was actually our correct play. I'm not sure. We are going to Altered Creation though. It might have been correct to keep the Saucer there and research. Bench this, research. We have Saucer. So we only lose 1 boss. Yeah, I should have researched this turn because now we have to boss for 2 turns in a row and that's going to be way harder if we can't research. We have Quick Ball for stuff like Dedenne and things like that, but I actually think I've made the game a little bit harder for myself here, which sucks. Yeah, that might have been a misplay. Have to work it out. Have to see how it goes. There's an attach. I think if he can't knock out the ADP this turn, we can E-switch boss, KO a Jirachi, and then we're in a very, very strong spot because we have basically 2 turns to find a knockout with Zacian. We could even just hit the Mewtwo twice. Okay. So, first things first, we're going to have to switch here. We should check the outcome of this. We're going to be using the boss, and we might need to research next turn, so let's just protect the saucer. We hit air balloon, so I guess actually we shouldn't have done that. I guess that was oversight on my part. We actually don't have an energy to attach this turn, but we're attaching 3 via Ultimate Ray this turn. So let's get free retreat. Let's E-switch off of here to here. Let's boss. We actually have no way of gusting this outside of boss anyway, so usually it's better to take Crobat. But in this case it doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't think it matters too much. We'll take the Crobat anyway, though. So yeah, I would have an extra Switch in hand. Switch actually isn't a great top deck for us, though. So I guess in terms of stamp, it's not. It's actually better to ditch the Switch. Ditch the Switch. I'm gonna power it because we only have 1 energy left in deck. I'm gonna fully power up 1 Zacian. If he takes out this Zacian, he's not dealing with the ADP, so we just need to find boss. And if he takes out this, we have a Zacian powered up. So rather than making 2 half threats, I'm going to make 1 full threat, so that no matter what here, we have a Pokemon that can attack next turn. Whereas if we just put 2 on the Zacian and 2 on the other Zacian, if he knocks out the ADP as well as stamps us into no energy, we arguably could miss out on attack next turn and lose the game. Okay. We are back. He Flare Blitzed us, which is really, really strong for us. Basically, I'm probably gonna be researching here. But first things first, I'm gonna thin the deck and try and just draw one of the cards we want from Oranguru. I'm not gonna take any of these, any of this stuff, because both of these cards are good if we get stamped later on. I am gonna Quick Ball. This away though. Grab a Duraludon that's never going to be used, and then we can Quick Ball. Arguably, again, Quick Balls are good top decks for us if we get stamped. But what card do I want to protect the most? Probably the Switch. Maybe we draw a boss here. We didn't draw a boss. We actually didn't draw very much at all. So we can just research, send out another 2 dead cards. Hopefully we find boss and some other cards that we can just burn. Cherish Ball is actually good if we get stamped because we can hit the Dene. So we can't boss, but we can just... is there any way he can... I don't think there is. So we can just Ultimate Ray. Hopefully set up a knockout next turn. No more energy in there. Oh, the horror energy. I am silly. Okay, he probably still can't take 3 prizes in a turn, but that was silly of me. I completely forgot about the horror energy. Huh. I should have just retreated and attacked with the Zacian there. Okay. That was pretty dumb. Can we still win? I think we can still win because we have 2 Zacian. We're threatening 2 Zacian. I think we're just going to give him more while. We could give him the Oranguru, but the Oranguru is a piece we may need to use if he stamps us. And we have no free retreater otherwise. We have the Zacian, I guess. If he just knocks out the Oranguru, what's he doing? I still think I send him the more while though. I don't think there's 3 prizes he can take on this board in 1 turn. Especially with no GX attack. I completely overlooked the horror energy though. That was very, very silly of me. Can't Horror House. He can Poltergeist. Would need to pair it with a Marnie or a Stamp though. And Gust, I guess. So you need to Gust the Zacian. Oh no, you can't Horror House, he's GX'd. Okay. I was thinking he'd need to knock out a Pokemon and stop us from playing any cards next turn. But he can't stop us from playing any cards next turn. So basically he's digging for stamp now, I believe. I think we have a fair few outs. Okay, no stamp though, which means we are able to take the series 2-0. Pretty unfortunate draws from our opponent, Team Fish Knuckles there. Which sucks, but that's feels like that's the way the game is at the moment. But some interesting Mewtwo gameplay there. Very interesting to see. So yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from Omnipoke, and I look forward to seeing you guys in next week's Omnipoke League.